Hey folks, it's Belgrade Beat on the streets of Istanbul. So I just wanted to make this video about my impressions of Turkey. I've been here for about 10 days now. And specifically how I feel that there's a connection, of course, historical and cultural with Serbia and Turkey. Now a lot of people are not going to like this video because basically because of Serbian nationalism. And so one of the reasons why I chose to live in Belgrade and not the place my family's actually from, which is Bratislava, Slovakia, I decided to move in Belgrade because it was a mix of that familiar culture that I was familiar with from my family and my upbringing with something exotic. And you know, that something exotic definitely is culture from this part of the world, the Eastern Mediterranean, Middle East and all that stuff. And you know, Serbs should be, I'm not gonna say should, okay. I am grateful as a Belgradian person who's lived there for many years, and I'm grateful for the influence that history has brought into this thing that we call Serbian culture. And the reason I live in Serbia is because of the great cultural mix of Serbia and how Serbia has managed to mix all sorts of different influences from all sorts of different cultures into one cohesive whole. How it's at its core a Slavic culture, and how it's influenced by Latin culture, like Italian culture, and it's influenced by, you know, the culture of my family, which is, you know, Central European, Austro-Hungarian Empire type culture, and then the Ottoman Empire type culture. And you know, on my video, Why Are Serbian Women So Beautiful?, there was a lot of comments where some of the women that I interviewed said that one of the reasons they're so beautiful is because they have a genetic mixture. And that some of that, they mentioned Turkish as one of the things that would have been mixed into their genetics, and lots of people resented that. Now, I would say that it's more that there's a Slavic influence on Turkish genetics than there is a Turkish influence on Serbian genetics. And that if you look around here, there's all sorts of different types of people, from people who look, you know, sort of blondish and blue eyes like me, to people who look really, really brown, and people who look African, people who look East Asian, and all that stuff. That's all the mix of Turkey. And if you look at my family history, actually, it is a mix of the Austro-Hungarian Empire as well. The Czechs, the Hungarians, the you know, basically all of those different ethnic groups that were populating there, mixed in with the Austro-Hungarian Empire. And Serbia is sitting between both of them, mixed with everything. So this video will actually be most offensive to Serbian nationalists who believe that their culture is like something that is pure. It's not. Unique. It is. It is unique. And the thing that's unique about Serbia is the balance between this crazy Middle Eastern part of the world where, you know, everything's loud and crazy, and the civilized Central European, while being Slavic, Orthodox Christians at a core. The way that Serbs do that is unique, and that's why I chose to live in Belgrade. And you should be proud that someone like me would find your culture so fascinating that I would come and live in your country if you're a Serb. Now let's get to the food. Right. They've got kaymak, they've got sarma, they've got all sorts of, you know, things that look like cevapi. They've got all sorts of stuff, and there's, yeah, lots of grilled meat, lots of sort of stews and stuff that look like the stuff in Serbia. And it's basically, people think that burek, of course they have lots of burek everywhere. And lots of people think that those things are Serbian, but actually, I think they're actually Turkish, just like schnitzel and goulash are from the Austro-Hungarian Empire and all that stuff. So, again, what's unique about Serbia is the mix of cultures and the really golden point that Belgrade, specifically the city of Belgrade, occupies in the history of the world between those two empires. And while it maintained its own cultural identity, its own language, even though the Serbian language, oh my god, there's so many Turkish words that I understand because I learned Serbian, and you know, not just the things I mentioned from the food, but this is sat for our lots of other things, lots and lots of other words that I've noticed. I didn't make a list of them, but yeah, basically the point is, yeah, but Serbia is a unique country because of the way that they've taken that mix into a cohesive thing. But as soon as you talk about what's Serbian food, what's not Serbian food, what's this, what's that, what's the other, who's this, who's that, and of course I'm not denying the fact that there was lots of bloodshed over history, both with the Germanic people and the Turkic peoples who sought to have influence over the Balkans and the Slavs there and all of that stuff. I'm not saying that that wasn't horrible, but what I'm saying is to bring that into the 21st century might be counterproductive for you personally in your life if you want to keep on believing this victim story and not get on with your life, because the world has more possibility than ever before, so that you can make your way. You know, if you just make a good international business like I did over the internet or anything like that, or, you know, just stay home and make the best products you can. But, you know, a lot of the Serbian people, nationalist people who comment on my channel, they always give this victim story that other countries do this to them and do that to them. And I think that everybody has to sort of stop thinking as a collective and start thinking as an individual and think about what you can do for your life and the other people around you in your life today to make it better for the people around you, rather than sitting around and complaining while you drink coffee all day with your friends and do nothing to change your circumstances in life. That's what I think. And maybe a controversial opinion, we'll see in the comments, but it's definitely worth a visit to Turkey, folks. It's definitely a really vibrant, bustling metropolis. This is even one of the busiest neighborhoods. It's just Beşiktaş, I think it's called. It's one of the, you know, slightly outside of the center, which is Taksim. There's this, but really lots to do here. Lots of neat stuff, and I'm glad I've come in this, and it's really cheap. It's like half the price of Serbia for some things. For like food, fast food, for example, half the price of Serbia. For, you know, I stayed in one place for €8 a night, which was right by the sea on the southern Mediterranean coast, where it's still, you know, in the mid to high 20s every day at the end of October. So don't worry about coming to Turkey. I mean, the people are really friendly. Nobody's tried to scam me or rip me off in the 10 days I've been here. And you know, another thing that Serbia has taken from Turkey is the warm hospitality of the people, and the sort of welcoming thing that you don't get in Western Europe. You don't get in the same way in other countries, other Slavic countries like Ukraine and Russia. You wouldn't find welcoming like you would Turkey or Serbia or Bosnia or Macedonia or even Croatia, you know? So think about that. Be proud that your culture isn't just one culture that's like nationalist. Be proud of your culture being internationalist and having taken the best of all different cultures in Europe, and, you know, this slightly different Turkish stuff, the best of French culture, English culture, German culture, Italian culture. All of these cultures, Turkish culture, Hungarian culture, all of these cultures have had an influence on that thing that's called Serbian culture, and that's what you should be proud of. Serbian internationalism. That's why people love Belgrade, because it's got a vibe that's alive, a thing that its own, which is the best of different worlds, all in a city where people are super friendly, speak English, and really enjoy their lives. So be grateful for what you have, Serbia. Thanks a lot. Greetings from Turkey. I'll catch you later.